Hello, everyone, and welcome to ROKStudios. I'm Stan Miller. I'm PR and Analyst Relations Manager for Rockwell Automation in the EMEA region, and I'm joined today by Stefano Schiavella. He is a product manager here at Rockwell. Stefano, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Hey, Stan.
So, Stefano, today we're here to talk a little bit about software-defined automation and the architecture of industrial adaptability. This is a great topic. Before we get into it, could you just share a little bit about yourself with the audience?
Yeah, sure. In my role as a global product manager, I look after some of the products following our software and control portfolio. And of course, last but not least, is the software-defined automation strategy. So looking at the future with that.
Fantastic. Stefano, let me ask you,
Sure.
industrial automation is often described as moving from automation to autonomy.
Mhm.
What structural limitations of traditional architectures are making that transition challenging today?
So I think that autonomy demands a system that learn and adapt, not just run pre-programmed logic. And if you think about traditional automation, architectures tend to be rigid, change is slow, risky, and expensive because basically the software and hardware decision has be tightly coupled together, and the lifecycle changes often require rework or re-architecting. And meanwhile, I think that disruption is no longer an exception, and manufacturers have to are facing more and more volatility and need agility rather than perfect prediction. So the structural limitation to me is that we build production systems optimized for stability, but autonomy requires something different, requires a foundation which is designed for continuous evolution. It's for flexibility, safe change, and better end-to-end integration.
Stefano, that's great context to get us started. Thank you for that. Software-defined automation borrows heavily from modern IT principles.
Mhm.
Which of those principles, whether it's late binding, DevOps workflows, abstraction, which of those are proving most difficult to translate into industrial environments?
So I think that the hardest principles are the ones implying that you can change software frequently with low consequence. So I think DevOps, workflows, and late binding, first of all. And this is because, in my opinion, in OT, you can't treat production just like a typical web environment because you have to preserve industrial robustness, long life cycles, and real-time execution. So that's why I think that modern DevOps principles have to, like, let me make examples, version control, automated testing, deployment pipelines. All of those things have to be adapted so that you can introduce change without impacting the real-time execution and hopefully without stopping production. So the software-defined automation point is not to import such practice blindly, but to extend them into OT in a way that basically you can support incremental change, earlier validation, and a safer evolution.
That's great. Stefano, in industry discussions, SDA is sometimes reduced to virtualized control.
Mhm.
Why is the broader architectural lens becoming more important than individual technologies?
Sure, because I think that if you limit SDA to the virtual PLC concept only, you're missing the broader value, which is making the entire system software defined. When I say entire system, I think about design, deployment, operation, and the entire life cycle. And many of providers are positioning SDA primarily as a virtual controller, but we are taking an approach which is more holistic at the system level because we think that you can keep strong control in build to last PLCs and still providing the values like flexibility, faster updates, and a stronger data and AI foundation without introducing the complexity that often comes when you try to virtualize everything. Okay? So the architectural lens you mentioned, I think here matters because autonomy is not just enabled by one single component. It's a system level things where control, visualization, and operation software are all fitting together into an open and integrated system that can evolve over time.
Got it. Stefano, you've touched on concepts like resilience and adaptability. If I could follow up a little bit. So when it comes to resilience and adaptability are now treated as permanent operating requirements
Mhm.
rather than exception handling.
Yep.
How does a software-defined approach change the way industrial organizations think about change, disruption, and life cycle planning?
So I think that software-defined automation is changing the mindset. No, from exception handling to continuous change management. And again, I think the narrative is clear. Already mentioned that. So disruption keeps coming. Manufacturers need to adapt through flexibility, through agility, through innovation. And I think that software-defined automation is supporting all of this by doing what? By making systems easier to change, faster to evolve, and safer to scale. Practically speaking, I'm talking about life cycle exercises, life cycle activities, updates, upgrades, security patching, security fixing. All of those things are becoming more centralized, and they're also becoming more software defined. And because why? Because they want to reduce the downtime, they want to accelerate troubleshooting. And indeed, one example I would like to bring to your attention is remote troubleshooting, where the user, by leveraging IT-like workflows and digital twin style testing, he can basically replay the behavior, find the logic path issue, and deploy the fix, and guaranteeing, of course, a faster recovery from a downtime.
That's a great example, and I think it really brings these concepts to life. My last question for you, Stefano.
Sure.
Looking ahead, what foundational capabilities need to be in place before industrial organizations can realistically scale AI and learning systems in production without increasing that operational risk?
Sure. Regarding AI, I can see two main foundation. One is the right data and interfaces, and the other one is safe change mechanisms. Why? Because basically, software-defined automation is helping to create open access to contextualized data through an integration path for modern AI machine learning workflows. So that learning systems can consume real-time data as well as historical OT data through software-defined interfaces. And furthermore, let's think about simulated environments and richer data generation, and also the ability to validate software level changes before deployment. All of those things are playing a crucial role. No? So before AI scales, I think that you need an architecture that makes production systems observable, integrable, and updatable so that you can really gain intelligence without introducing all the complexities and the instabilities that you can risk.
Stefano, this has been a great discussion. We really appreciate you sharing your insight into such an important and hot topic with us today. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about industrial automation and digital transformation, visit rockwellautomation.com.